Okay, confirming we're good to go? Yes?
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the September 21st special meeting of the Library Board. This is Jill Spear, Chair of the Library Board. I'd like to welcome you to the virtual meeting of the September 21st meeting of the Library Board. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order Number 7B as extended by Executive Order Number 7A, which permits municipalities to conduct public meetings virtually. Board members and some library staff are participating via video conferencing facility of WebEx, and members of the public can view the meeting live on West Hartford Community Television or on West Hartford Community Interactive Comcast Channel 5 and Frontier TV Channel 6098 or on www.whctv.org. This meeting is also being recorded on demand for on-demand viewing, which will be available on the town and library's websites. Because of the virtual format, there's some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before our meeting actually begins. First, I ask all participants to please mute your devices when you're not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. If you're participating via audio only, or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, then please unmute your phone and let me know that you wish to be recognized. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 7B as extended by Executive Order 9A, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying votes on a video conference, I will require that most votes be taken by poll. And lastly, fourth, a reminder that if any participant has problems with their connection, you should immediately call Janet Valancis, whose phone number you were provided earlier. She'll let me know and we will recess the meeting if the problem cannot be resolved quickly. And we will ask you to call in the meeting using a phone only if that's possible. I'll now call the roll and note staff members who are present. David Brandwine. Please note that David Brandwine, board member, is not present. Gail Crockett.
Gail Crockett, library board member, present.
Ann Donovan.
Ann Donovan, library board member, present.
Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, library board member, present.
Jill Spear, library board chair member, present. Also present are Carol Waxman, acting library director, and Janet Valancis, library staff. Our first agenda item is approval of the consent agenda items 3, 7AI, and 7AII. Do I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I do.
I so move.
Second.
The chair recognizes Ann Donovan. Ann Donovan made a motion to approve the agenda, and the chair recognized Gail Crockett, who made a motion to second the motion. Is there any discussion? Not, I'll call the roll. Gail Crockett.
Gail Crockett, library board member, approve.
Ann Donovan.
I, Ann Donovan, approve the consent agenda.
Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, library board member, approve.
Jill Spear, library board chair, approve. The next agenda item is the chair's report. Our first item on the library director's report is to welcome Carol Waxman as our acting director. The board wishes to again thank Carol for taking on this role and recognizing that your dedication to uphold the high standards of the West Hartford Library are only equaled by your enthusiasm for the library and the community. And we really wish to thank you for really taking on and serving this role, Carol, especially at this time. So thank you. Carol, I certainly will recognize you if you.
Yes. Thank you. Carol Waxman, acting library director. I thank you for all your good wishes and I stand ready to serve.
Thank you, Carol.
Sure.
Our next item on the chair's report is the director search. The search committee continues with the process of reviewing applications, and we want to note that the appointment of the acting director has provided flexibility to manage the ongoing changes to operations due to COVID-19 while the search process moves forward. So we feel like we're in good shape and in good hands, and then Carol's in place to give us that flexibility. So again, thank you, Carol. Our next agenda, we have no old business, and our next agenda item is new business. The first and only item under new business is community outreach campaign. As you know, the library, as part of its mission, has always been involved in the community, whether it is working from within our 3 buildings or managing our virtual presence on social media or working outside by participating at community events. As part of the library's strategic plan, partnerships with various organizations have grown significantly, with library staff participating at record numbers of community events in recent years. These efforts continue in spite of the operational challenges of the pandemic and with some new innovative approaches, which brings us to a new initiative. The West Hartford Library Foundation is stepping forward to support the library's community engagement work by launching an initiative for community outreach. And do we have an motion for supporting this work?
I, Ann Donovan, board member, move to support this initiative.
I, Gail Crockett, second, and Donovan.
Okay. A motion has been made and seconded. Do we have any discussion?
Gail has contacted Rosina Hawkins to start a network through that channel. And I have contacted Deb Pullen to start a network through her. And we're going to gather names, and then we can go forth with reaching out to these individuals. Hopefully they'll be our liaisons to the community, so we can go forth with this initiative.
Okay. And as I understand it, Gail and Ann, you're both will be co-chairs of this new subcommittee of the foundation, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
And our the library's community engagement librarian, Pramod, will be an ad hoc member of the committee as well. So we have linkage between all 3 organizations. And lastly, I believe as part of your formulation of the initiative, there'll be some reporting, obviously not only to the foundation, but you'll do some activity reporting here through the community engagement library and to the library board, and therefore be on record with the public record for the community, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are there any other points that other board members or Carol, as acting director, you'd like to discuss about welcome them?
Yep.
Yes, Chair recognizes Gail Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to add that Ann and I are very excited about this new initiative. And I wanted to just say that we are currently in what we call the recruiting marketing stage in terms of trying to reach out and connect to various groups that are already organized within town, including the neighborhood group. It's quite an exhaustive laundry list. We don't intend at this juncture to be able to reach out to, there were well over 25 of them, could be 30. So we each are going to start with individuals in those respective groups which represent or contain diverse members with those people that we already have a contact with within Rhodes. And just in terms of just getting out there and reaching people in terms of facilitating this. So I just wanted to give you that little backdrop at this point as to what we're doing. The other interesting or not so interesting thing is because of the whole nature of COVID and the flu, unlike when we were all meeting face to face and it was easy to run into people and, chat and, get connections, we're going to be doing I suspect a lot of having to call people by phone when we do get their names. And that in itself is a process, as you all know, in terms of reaching people, explaining who we are, what we're trying to do, and then trying to get their interest. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Gail. Well, we have a motion that's been made and seconded, and we resolve that the library board welcomes and endorses this activity. If there's no further discussion, I'd like to take the vote on this motion. Okay. Gail Crockett.
Absolutely. I, Joe Crockett, library board member, yes.
Ann Donovan.
Ann Donovan, library board member, yes.
Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, library board member, yes.
Jill Spear, library board member, yes. The motion is made and passed. Thank you very much. Our next agenda items is the director's report. The current monthly briefing by Carol Waxman. The chair recognizes Carol Waxman to present the report.
Sure, Carol Waxman, acting library director. So I am very happy to report to you that we have many services that are now open to the public. The first one that I'd like to talk to you about is our curbside service. We've been offering this since June 8th at Noah Webster, Bishop's Corner, and Faxon. We've just expanded hours to Fridays 3 to 5 at Noah Webster. This service has proven to be needed, wanted, and extremely popular. From the start of curbside appointments on June 8th to just today, we have logged in 10,389 curbside appointments. We're averaging about 77 per day at Noah Webster, and we do that for 7 days a week, 6 days a week. Bishop's Corner, about 73 per day for 3 days, and Faxon, about 30 per day for 2 days. Some days we have over 100 appointments. Some days we have 140 appointments. The total number of items checked out in these curbside appointments is now over 35,000, which is an incredible number. We're so proud of that. Noah Webster Library accounts for about 60%, Bishop's Corner about 28%, and Faxon about 12%. Even though we've now opened for browsing, curbside is still way up there, not budging from its popularity. Patrons seem to prefer outside. The curbside checkouts need more circulation staff than usual to guarantee excellent service. And the way it works is that patrons place holds on materials, or they call us and tell us what we want, and we place the holds. When they receive an email alert to tell them that their items are ready, they call the circulation desk at the designated building for pickup, and they book an appointment. The books are placed outside on tables in 15-minute intervals. Service will move inside to foyers when the cold weather comes, but it is still a contactless service for staff and patrons. We put the books out, we walk back into the building, they come up from the street, they pick up the books and take them away. And of course, we remind them all to wear masks. Aside from curbside appointments, we have now computer and browsing appointments. Starting on August 31st, we have offered these. We have at Noah Webster logged 615 people for browsing and computers so far, which is about between 14 and 22 per day. Children's has been a bit slower. We have maybe 8 families coming in from 10 to 2. We would like more. We've started publicizing it in a greater way now. We publicized it in our newsletter, on our website, in WeHa News, and on Facebook also. Computer appointments, we thought would be a little busier, but they are adequate, between 2 and 6 per day. Bishop's Corner browsing, So far, 101 people have visited in the past 3 weeks, and Faxon has computer appointments available. And so far, 17 people have come in to use computers, and browsing will start soon at Faxon. So our hours. At Noah Webster, we're open every day from 10 to 2 and Saturdays from 10 to 1. Bishop's Corner, we have browsing on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. Curbside pickup Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Faxon, computers and browsing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Curbside Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. A lot to remember. I have to read it every time. And we will stand ready to expand the services as needed. Other services that are still in place and used all the time, phone reference. We have 2 lines that people can call in. They're calling in just for regular library business. They're calling to place holds, ask questions. Sometimes we still get questions about the town and its services. We're happy to answer all of those. Library cards. Since mid-March, we have made 888 new library cards for our West Hartford patrons. They fill out a form online. We quickly make them a card. We email them the number the next day. And if they like, they can make a browsing appointment to pick up the card. Just in the first 2 weeks of September alone, we've made over 200 cards. I don't know where all of these people have been, but they're coming out now and we're making cards and we're thrilled to do it. We also offer book match. If people do not know what they want to read, they call us, they fill out a simple form with their interests, and we email them back suggestions for adults and children. In other library business, our virtual programming presence is strong. We're meeting our audiences through Facebook, which is the only means we have, but it's proven to be very popular. On September 10th, we hosted the Kid Governor program. The Kid Governor is chosen every year from 5th graders in Connecticut. And this year, our own Myra Stanfield from Norfolk School is the Kid Governor. So, of course, it was only appropriate that we host her for the first Kid Governor program of the year, which we did through their Zoom platform. We were proud to do it. We have a full schedule of preschool story times. In children's, we offer cooking shows, craft shows. We'll be offering a program about ballet. In adult programming, the Song of West Hartford was an incredible, successful program whereby there was a prize given and there were 3 placeholders. A child won the first place, and the song is out for everybody to see. I hope you had an opportunity to view him singing it and hear the song. We offered a talk on the Onassis women. Groups that are still meeting virtually are the Fiction Writers, the New Yorker Club, the Atlantic Monthly, and other book clubs. We held a virtual program on overcoming stress and anxiety using meditation. And we're also working with social services to once again open our food weekend backpack program. This is for families who need food support over the weekend. When school ends on Friday, the weekends can be difficult for some families. So at the Noah Webster Library, we have backpacks of food that people can come and get, and also at the Faxon Branch Library. A total of about 30 families are served through this program on the weekends. Our library website will be unveiled the first week in October. There are changes and graphics that are going to be different. We're very excited to see that. As far as staff and staffing, before the pandemic, we employed 77 part-time workers. 28 are now back actively working in our 3 buildings, with 49 still on furlough status. Out of these 49, some have proclaimed that they're not comfortable coming back to work now, but have asked to remain on the payroll and come back later. A few of these employees have retired or resigned. And with limited hours right now, we're not open our full hours. We do not need the full number of part-time staff that we employed previous to the pandemic. We are adequately staffed for the hours we are open, and we will reassess as we continue to open additional hours. The part-time people being added back are helping with reference, definitely curbside, and other circulation duties. And we have part-time staff acting as greeters. These people are in our foyers. They log our visitors in when they arrive to see whether they're here for browsing or computers. They help them fill out a health form and direct them to the service that they need. We have greeters at Noah Webster Library, and we will add them to Faxon when Faxon opens for browsing as well as computers. In planning ahead, with careful study and talk with the facilities people about cleaning the buildings and health of the staff and all of that, we hope to open one evening from 4 to 7 in the next few weeks. We feel that those hours are necessary for students who are in school during the day, either remote or actually in school. They need to come after school hours, and as well as all of our workforce that does not work from home and needs to come after 5 o'clock. We will also discuss opening on Sunday afternoons when the weather gets a bit colder and it's always busier in a normal year. And we will continue to assess our hours and services to see that we're following health guidelines as well as meeting the needs of all of our public. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Could open up for any discussion of the monthly report. Chair recognizes Gail Crockett. Gail, I think you're still on mute. Gail, you're okay now. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for that report. It was very informative. Can you just tell me what are the plans for inclement weather with respect to curbside? Since it's going so well now, how do you anticipate people be able to pick up their book?
Sure, Gail. Well, fortunately, there is a foyer inside of each building, so it will just be a matter, as we do now on the rainy days, we pull that curbside table back in. It will still be a door between the staff and the public. So they will just park and come into the foyer to get the books.
So will they come in one way and go out the other? Is that?
Not really. They just enter, grab, and turn around and leave. That's what they do now. They just walk up to the table, grab, turn around, and leave. There are 15-minute intervals there. They usually don't come upon each other, or there's social distance markers out there, and people are used to that now, so they're pretty good about waiting and not going up to the table when something's done.
I got it. Let me come back in.
And thank you for muting. Any other questions about how the curbside and the in-building access is going to be handled during inclement weather? Any other questions about that? I see a response. No other question about that. Any other questions about Carol's report and some more details that you would like?
It's Ann, Jill.
Yeah,
I
Chair,
just-
this is Ann Donovan. Thank you, Ann.
Carol, thank you so much. Like Gail said, your report was great. It was so thorough, and I really appreciated you giving us all that information. Thank you.
Carol, you're on mute. Sorry.
One more comment about the curbside service. The biggest comment that we get from our patrons is, never stop. Why didn't we do this years ago? It's the best. People love it for their own reasons. Even people who don't want to bring their children in and watch them running around, which we would like that to happen, but can't right now. It's just so simple. And we have parking spots right in front of the building for them. So that's another big plus, that they don't have to go into the garage, which nobody really likes to go into the garage. And the branches too. People love it. And we will keep it up as long as they want and need it.
Thank you, Carol. I have a question. This is Jill Spear, Library Board Chair. Carol, are we getting any input from the public asking questions of either feedback or comments or just plain questions about the COVID-19 facilities changes that we've made? Are people actually saying anything or providing any input or even just asking what they are? Because certainly you've informed the board of what they are, you're following what the town and the health district are saying, but is the public having questions or concerns, or is there anything else we should be doing about helping people understand what's there that you can tell? Tara.
Honestly, Carol Waxman, acting library director, honestly, not really. They're just happy to be in here. They're not, I think they're looking around a little bit. They're seeing the plexiglass, they're seeing the social distance markers on the floor, but they're not, I haven't had anybody tell me that they're asking questions, and I haven't had any questions either.
Thank you, Carol. I noticed, gee, I'm not even sure if it was WeHA or somewhere else. I was reading an article today or yesterday where the library actually, maybe it was even the library's website talked about what's in place. And I think that is not only the marketing and promoting what is available in terms of services, but letting people know having as much transparency as possible. You're doing a good job of putting out there just not what's available, but how it operates, so people feel secure and can make their own decision about whether they're willing to, enter that environment. They feel like if they know you're giving them the information and empowering them to make a decision for themselves. So I appreciate that.
Carol Waxman, acting library director. We prepared a video for the children's room, mainly because we didn't want the children running in here looking for the kitchen, looking for the puppets, looking for all of the things that they previously enjoyed and played with. So we created a video, we put it out as much as possible in all means of publicity. And people were talking about it. They said, thank you, because now we have prepared our children. They're going right to the books. And that's where we are right now, and we want everyone to be happy with that.
Thank you, Carol. The chair recognizes Gail Crockett. You had a comment, Gail? You're on mute. Whoops, there, Janet, can you take Gail off mute?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Gail, go ahead.
Because I'm unmuted. So when you were talking about ways in which word is getting out about the library, and please excuse my profound ignorance here, but how often does the library newsletter go out, and what's its reach? Because I seem to find out a lot of information about the library, frankly, through WeHA and Facebook.
Sure. Carol Waxman, acting library director. The library newsletter goes out weekly, and I believe, Janet, please, if I'm wrong on this one, correct me, but I believe it reaches about 17,000 homes. You can sign up through us to receive the newsletter. When people apply for a library card, we check off a box in that application to have their email added. I know because I get the newsletter at home and I read it late at night. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, that it comes out weekly. Lots of readers. It's a good place to put it. And for families, Facebook is really an excellent source of publicity for us.
Thank you, Carol. To Gail's point, perhaps Gail's a lot has used to using those other media channels, but perhaps just like that video when you said the children's video, it was through Weehaw that I got that. I think, or I think it was either that or the newsletter. But perhaps it's time to put out a little notice again about the newsletter in those other channels, like Weehaw, because a lot of people read that might not be subscribers. Carol, just something you can talk about with your publicity folks that.
Sure.
We get new people in town, people change what they're looking at, and these days people are reaching all over social media and different channels to try to stay connected. So perhaps, talk it over with them and see what you guys think is the best, maybe another blitz of here's how to get hold of us and talk to us. That would be good. Thank you. Further questions or comments, Kim?
My first curbside maybe last week, and I was very impressed with it. It couldn't have been easier, and people kept their distance. And I have to say, the parking spot in the front, huge plus. Just in and out, and don't have to. I mean, that is the most time-consuming part. Typically, is finding a parking spot and coming in. So, one thought I had was how privacy for materials was going to be respected with like the new format. So I was pleased to see kind of how the materials were up. Not that anyone's nosing about it in anyone else's business, but I know that that's something that is paramount, with the library services, is respecting that privacy. So a simple solution of a piece of paper, but I thought that was clever, and was happy to see that was factored in, to the analysis. So I just commend all of the efforts that have been done so far to kind of adapt as the rules keep changing. And I know just in my extended family, there's a real enthusiasm for the browsing appointments. And that was just really, my father-in-law already went and was thrilled. So it's been great to sort of watch the progress. And I get the newsletter, Gail, so you should definitely sign up for that. That's been my main source of reminders and information.
Well, I think Gail Crockett, library board member, I believe I get it. It's just that I think I see it faster, or things that are going on with the library through those other channels. Or I get people sending me notices about, hey, this is happening at the West Hartford Library. Did you see it? So, which is great, because it's a way to share information. So I'm sure that I get it. I'll make sure on Wednesdays and Thursdays to double check.
Thank you, Gail. Keep us honest. And Kim, thanks for the feedback of your family. It's nothing like getting direct, feedback from, and also different generational, you with your young child and your in-laws, a little bit older. So it's good to see they're trying different things and getting direct feedback to us.
Selfishly, I'm, eager for world's return to something closer to normal and be able to bring our son in. He's been, of course, but too small to really actually appreciate much of what it has to offer. So looking forward to in-person programming, one day when we can enjoy it together. So.
Yeah, as are we all. Thank you, Carol. And thank you, Carol. Any other points that you'd like to discuss? I think if no one else on the library board has one, just a reminder, Carol, when that we can talk about when we do get more hours, we'll bring those to the library. When you're going to change your hours, we'll bring those to the library board to approve, and that also serves as to Gail's point, it's another notice to the public that this is an official town department and you're officially approved to going to these hours. So that works really, really great. Just a reminder to do that. I know it's a little hard these days because everything's changing in lightning speed for us. So thank you for, again, thank you. And be sure and thank the staff for all their efforts and for keeping us informed, both through the newsletter and for keeping us as the library board members informed. It's really quite helpful. Well, that's all my thoughts, small as they are. But, Anne, do you have any other further thoughts for this evening's or discussion points on the administrative report?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And Donovan, library board member, no.
Gail, do you have any other thoughts? Gail Crockett?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. And Kim, any other further thoughts? Well, thank you all. And Carol, thank you. At this point, I would call for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved by Gail Crockett.
Okay, Chair recognizes Gail Crockett made a motion to adjourn the meeting, and I believe I saw Kim Cohen seconding the motion. I'll now call the roll for any discussion, sorry. I'll call the roll for the vote. Gail Crockett,
I agree, should adjourn the meeting, yes.
and Donovan.
And Donovan, library board meeting, agreed to adjourn the meeting.
Kim Cohen,
Kim Cohen, library board member, I also agree.
and Jill Spear, library board chair. I agree to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all. And a reminder, we'll be returning to the anticipated special meeting will be next month, the fourth Monday in October, which, sorry, I didn't write down that date. And the special meeting time will be announced once we work that out with the town. Right? Thank you all. See you
October 26th is the next.
Stay
Oh,
well.
thank you. October 26th. Oh, my birthday. How nice.